What's up, everybody? It's your boy Ryan, and this is the Thunder Channel on nootropics and biohacking. Thank you so much for being with me. Guys, we are doing a special on Labor Day for 48 hours on product, and everything is 50% off, with the exception of the bigger consults. That's pretty substantial. Just use the coupon code 5050. Everything's 50% off. That includes the Cortex stack, powerful pre-made stack. That includes, it doesn't include the Cortex double stack because that's already discounted $24 a bottle. You just get 2 bottles with the double stack, but the one-off singular Cortex is 50% off, which is cheap. That includes the Nootropics Ground Zero course, which is the course that you have to get, a video course if you're brand new to nootropics. Kind of just synthesize all the information in one course, takes you to the 3-year mark in using nootropics in terms of results and what to do, how to stack, how to adjust. Also applies to the Nootropics Masterclass. 6 years in gets you different results, and that's what the Masterclass attempts to achieve by synthesizing information in a video course that allows you to use nootropics at that level, at the 6-year mark, at the Masterclass. That's 50% off using the coupon code 50. All this stuff is extremely cheap for Labor Day. I just want to give you guys a break on price. Same thing with the Viking Testosterone protocol. Great protocol for guys that actually want to noticeably raise total test, not just marginally. It's a very powerful protocol. That's 50% off using the coupon code 50, livecortex.com. All the rest of our courses and digital books, they're also 50% off right now. Coupon code is 50. Last thing, if you're a business person or just a person that needs to be hyper productive throughout the day and have some issues with brain performance, and you need my help on a very ongoing basis to get the right stack formulations, to fix the bad chemistry, to allow you to function really awesomely, either get the 1-month intensive, the 3.5-month intensive, or the 6-month intensive. These are intensive, hands-on, results-driven biohacking consults where you're working directly with me. The 3.5-month, but better yet, the 6 apply to PSSD as well. If there's any questions about what applies to you, please email me, ryan@livecortex.com. All right, so I want to briefly talk about the idea of isolating which compounds in your stack, a stack that you're taking that works, are doing a lot of the heavy lifting, and therefore reducing the quantity of chemicals in your stack, and then making your stack a lot more succinct. I think it's important to rigorously do the experimentation on taking things out, removing things, changing milligram ingredient quantities of the stacks that you're taking, so that you have not a broad understanding, but a very specific understanding of what in your stack is doing the heavy lifting. So let me give you an example of a situation of a person where we isolated the thing that was doing the heavy lifting and where we were able to refine the stack, just to illustrate the point, for you guys to do some further experimentation if you are so inclined to do this. So I've been working with a person. I think we just basically finished working together. It was cognitive optimization over a 3-month period. And coming to me, this person had a combination of modafinil. It was somewhere around 100 milligrams. High-dose oxiracetam, it was 1,500 milligrams. Some adaptogens like rhodiola and ashwagandha were in the stack. There were some other intensified versions of piracetam on the racetam side, like pramiracetam was in the mix, coliracetam was in the mix, both at modest doses. And like a B complex, vitamin D, and some of the other kind of run-of-the-mill daily supplements like fish oil. So in trying to isolate what exactly was giving this person the effect, we ran some experimentation. We removed some compounds. We took some of the major heavy hitters, like from my perspective from the outside, and just put them together. And then we, just to gauge the result, we got some, interesting results from that. And then we started adding in from that stack, taking the heavy hitters and just putting them in. We started adding in lower doses of the rest of the things that the person had in their stack, like rhodiola and ashwagandha as an example. And what we found is that the majority of the stack, as you might imagine, was modafinil and oxiracetam. That was the majority stack with low doses of ashwagandha and rhodiola in the mix. And like a very low dose of a choline source. It was cognizin, so Nootropics Depot's formulation of CDP choline at 100 milligrams. That was essentially the basis of the stack. Isolating that a little bit further, I found that the pramiracetam really contributed nothing to the mix. It may have subjectively made the person feel like they were getting better memory or better general energy or functionality, but removing it from the stack, as well as the coliracetam, completely made no difference in the person's general function and responsiveness to the stack. So we took that pretty complex stack and we isolated it down to modafinil, the high dose of oxiracetam, which was actually critical, keeping it somewhere around 1,500 milligrams, pretty low dose of cognizin at 100 milligrams, and then 300 and 300 on rhodiola and ashwagandha. And the person was able to sustainably take that stack a couple times a week because, you want to figure out a bunch of different stacks, cycle between them, and get the same result. So long as they slept well, they had the same amount of caffeine, everything else was the same. They pretty much got the same result. We added into that stack, however, a little bit of dynamine, which is somewhat like teocrine in that it's stroking the vein of the adenosine receptor in a caffeine-like way, but it was a very low dose. I think it was 50 milligrams, just to give that extra energy that maybe the person was subjectively getting or subjectively thinking they have, or possibly even somewhat actually having from the coliracetam and the pramiracetam being in the mix. And that was it. So, we took a stack of a lot of different compounds, reduced the quantity of compounds, found exactly what was really stroking the brain in the way that this person needed for the type of work that they did, removed a good bit of the compounds from the stack, and then isolated the heavy hitters, which again, were cognizin, modafinil, oxiracetam, and then the two adaptogens. So I think it's important for people to do that. Look, if you've got a stack of a bunch of different things that does make you feel good and you do function well, getting into the sort of nootropics methodology part of it, you always want to look for redundancies. What are you taking that you don't necessarily need to be taken, or that you can achieve by maybe slightly higher dosing another compound that's in the mix that has similar mechanisms, so that in the end you're getting a clean effect with no redundancies, but you ultimately save powder. You save time. If you're capsuling your own stuff, you don't have to capsule the pramiracetam or the coliracetam. You don't have to deal with it at all. And in some cases, you could get to the point where once you've isolated the things that work and you've got good doses on them, instead of exclusively getting powder, which I know can be a pain in the butt for people, you might just find that 1,500 milligrams of oxiracetam, which was the case in this case, works fine. And so and that's kind of your sweet spot. So you don't have to get powder. You can just get 750 milligram capsules and pretty much hit that marker. You'll save time, you will save money, you will save energy by doing this, and in the end, you will have a refined, succinct stack, which is good if you're going to be an experimenter with nootropics. So yeah, just something that I figured I would share with you. I wrote it down a couple weeks ago because that's one of the things that we did kind of right in the beginning with this person that I was working with, and it's prominent, right? It was a big deal in getting that person to have a refined stack that actually made them function better because we isolated the heavy hitters and we removed compounds. Okay, so think about it in your stack. If you're taking a bunch of different things together, what are the heavy hitters? What do you think are the heavy hitters? And then try removing some of the compounds that you don't think are the heavy hitters and see if you get the same results. Look at redundancies in your stack mechanistically, which compounds are pretty much doing the same thing, and see if you can either reduce the doses on some of the redundant compounds or remove them completely. In the end, if you go through a process like this, for a good bit of people, you can refine your stack, which is always awesome and super interesting to me. Hope that made sense. Thanks so much for listening, everybody. Labor Day special and everything, 50% off. We've never done a 50% off anything ever. So this is a pretty good opportunity for those of you that want to get some of our courses and books and the Cortex stack and whatever else we've got on livecortex.com, the Viking Testosterone protocol, Nootropics Ground Zero, Nootropics Masterclass. All that stuff is 50% off right now. LiveCortex.com. Just use the coupon code 50. That's going to last for 48 hours. So today is Monday, which is Labor Day. It's going to last into Tuesday, and then it's going to basically end Wednesday at 12:01 a.m. Eastern time. So you got a good bit of time to go get that done. Coupon code is 50. Go get some product for super cheap right now. That ends 12:01 a.m. Wednesday. That's Eastern time. If you're a business person and you need hardcore, comprehensive, continuous work with me to optimize cognitive performance, it makes a world of difference when your brain functions the way that it needs to, on all cylinders, completely firing to get stuff done, especially now in uncertain economic times and coronavirus making people all weird and everything just being super weird right now. You need your functionality to you. Either get the 1 month, 3.5 month, or the 6 month intensive. These are hands-on, results-driven biohacking consults where you work directly with me to achieve that outcome of heightened cognitive performance. Get those at livecortex.com. Email me, Ryan, at livecortex.com. If you want to chat about it, get on a call. The 3.5 month and the 6 month also apply to PSSD. Better yet, 6 month, because you need time for that. Again, if there's questions about what applies to you, please email me, Ryan, at livecortex.com. Thank you so much for listening, everybody. Talk to you next time.